The next half an hour will preview India versus Australia semi-final clash. Big game it is, and eminent guests will be with us and will be going to our correspondents too, who will be joining us from different locations. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Let's get it started. So it's a semi-final clash of Champions Trophy. Big game coming up between India and Australia. Semi-final clash. The match will start at 2:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. The last time India faced Australia in an ODI was in the final of the 2023 World Cup, which ended in a heartbreaking loss for 1.4 billion Indians. India had lost that game by 6 wickets. Australia had targeted 2 goals, winning the World Cup and silencing the 130,000 strong crowd at Ahmedabad's Narendra Modi Stadium. And now, in another ICC knockout game, India and Rohit Sharma may have a score to settle there. Mohammad Shami and Travis Head will be a big encounter. Like we said, this is a repeat of 2023 final clash that was played between India and Australia. Virat Kohli just 40 runs away from becoming a leading run scorer for India in Champions Trophy. Shreyas Iyer is in a great form, India's second highest run scorer post 2023 World Cup. And this is big. Australia averaged 36.32 against spin in Champions Trophy. We know how Indian spinners are performing in the tournament and how they have performed in the tournament so far. We have 4 spinners already that played against New Zealand. Will India will go with the same playing 11. It will be interesting to see against Australia also, but the pitch is bone dry, bereft of any grass, so it will be interesting to see. The toss will happen at 2 o'clock, but this is the road to the semi-finals for India. India defeated Bangladesh, Pakistan, and India when batted first. They defeated New Zealand by 44 runs, and Australia defeated England in the league stage, and 2 of their matches have been washed out in the tournament so far. Against South Africa, they were doing well. Against Afghanistan also, that match was also washed out. So big game coming up between India and Australia, the first semi-final of Champions Trophy 2025. And the men in blue will be bidding for their 3rd title after emerging victorious in the 2002 and 2013 editions of the tournament. And this will be India's 6th Champions Trophy semi-final appearance, and it will be featuring in a last 4 match for the 3rd consecutive time in the competition's history. Our report.
The ground is ready for yet another India versus Australia clash. The stage is set for the ICC Champions Trophy semi-final, and the question is, will India pass the Australian test? Can India defy Head's brilliance? Or will they be knocked out by the Kangaroos' punch? Both teams come into the high-voltage clash undefeated. India have won all their matches played in Dubai, while Australia won 1 match. Their other 2 matches were washed out. Although they don't have their frontline players in the squad, but senior players have taken the onus upon themselves. Even without their lead cast of Pat Cummins, Josh Hazlewood and Mitchell Starc, the Aussies are a resilient beast in global tournaments. Their stunning chase of 352 against England at Lahore a few days back validates the thought. History weighs heavily against India, but they would rely on a potent spin battery and familiarity with the conditions to break the knockout jinx against an undermanned Kangaroos. Their pre-tournament decision to fill the squad with 5 spinners drew a lot of flack from all corners, but it is now proving to be a masterstroke on the slow pitches in Dubai. The Indian spin quartet of Chakravarti, Kuldeep Yadav, Ravindra Jadeja and Akshar Patel walked away with 9 New Zealand wickets. Varun will be an unfamiliar customer to a large chunk of the Australian batting order. In the current Australian setup, only Glenn Maxwell and skipper Smith have faced Varun before. Maxwell batted against the Indian spinner in 6 Indian Premier League matches, scoring 46 runs of 30 balls, while being dismissed thrice. Smith encountered Varun just once, scoring 14 from 10 without being dismissed. India will likely bank on this element of mystery to gain a foothold in the game. In the head-to-head battle, India leads 2-1 from 4 encounters, with one match having no result. Talking about their recent meetings, Australia blanked India in 2023 World Cup final at home against the odds. India also lost in the semi-finals of the 2015 ODI World Cup and succumbed to them in the World Test Championship final in 2023. The last time India triumphed against Australia in the knockout stage of an ICC event was way back in the 2011 World Cup quarter-final. Overall, the India versus Australia semi-final could be a trial by spin contest and will also show which cricketing giant thrives under knockout game pressure. Sports Desk, DD India.
Right, so the toss will happen at 2 o'clock. We'll keep you updated on that. But let's now try to understand through graphics now how the story has been so far for India. So big game between India and Australia today. Rohit Sharma versus Steve Smith. The match will start at 2:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time at Dubai International Cricket Stadium. Indians have been playing all their matches there, but on different strips. So Rohit Sharma versus Steve Smith, and this is the story so far for India. The road to the semi-finals. They defeated Bangladesh in the first game by 6 wickets. Then they defeated Pakistan. It was a big game. They defeated arch rivals Pakistan. Big ticket match versus Pakistan. They defeated them by 6 wickets again, and they won against New Zealand by 44 runs. So this was the best match, true test for India. They were all out on 249, and what Indian spinners did, we all know. And this has been the story so far for India in the semi-finals. And if we look at the story of Australia, they have won only one game in the tournament so far, and that was what a run chase that was. Beat England by 5 wickets. England had scored over 300, and it was a complete run fest and match abandoned against South Africa without a single ball being bowled, and they were doing well against Afghanistan also. They were chasing well, they were going 10 and over, but that match was also abandoned, washed out due to rain. So this has been the story so far for Australia, and Australia are also super confident against India. This can be the plus point for them. But yes, this is the ODI head-to-head record between India and Australia. Australia, yes, they have won 84 games. India have won 57. No result has been 10. But yes, the kind of form India is in, and on paper, India look more dominant side against Australia. And if you look at the current form, India certainly look favorites to win the game. So if we move forward, big encounter between India and Australia today, and Travis Head versus Mohammad Shami. And why we are talking about Travis Head? Because he has been a big headache for India, be it Border Gavaskar Trophy, be it ODI World Cup 2023. So 2:30 p.m. these are the matchups. Mohammad Shami and Travis Head. He'll open the batting, and Mohammad Shami will bowl the first over for India. So this is a big matchup, a contest to watch out for. And Steve Smith and Varun Chakravarti. We all know what Varun Chakravarti did in the last game. He took 5 for 42 against New Zealand, and he is an X factor for India. And why we have Steve Smith against him? Because he is a great player. Australian captain is a big player, great player of spin bowling. And India will discuss about playing 11 with our guest and correspondent. But yes, India, they would be going with the looks like they will be going with the same playing 11. And this is the stats of best of Travis Head against India in 2023-24 Border Gavaskar Trophy. Third test he scored 152, second test 140, in the first he scored 80 odd. He is completely dominating. He likes to play against the Indian side, and Travis Head will be very important if Australia is batting first, winning the toss. It looks like that team winning the toss, they will bat first. But yes, Travis Head's wicket will be very important. T20 World Cup Super 8, he scored 76 in just 43 deliveries, took the game away from away from India. And this is the ODI World Cup 2023. Indians would be licking their wounds. The people are calling it a revenge match. He played superbly well against India in the semi-finals. 4-5 opportunities he gave in the beginning, but yes, I mean, in that game he completely took the game away from the Indian side. So he will be a big headache for India. And this is the average. This is the fact. Head's average against India from 2018 to 2025 has been above 45, which is 46.5 5-2 to be precise. So Travis Head's wicket will be very important. And yes, batting wise, Josh Inglis, we all know he did superbly well against England. If you talk about Steve Smith, he plays spin very well, and Glenn Maxwell. So we need to discuss about Australia's playing 11 also, whether they will be going with the 3 spinners also. It will be interesting to see. But yes, this is a very important game. And will India be the first finalist in the Champions Trophy 2025? It will be interesting to see. We'll discuss all of that. But yes, Indian cricket fans await a thrilling encounter as they are all excited ahead of the India versus Australia game. Let's listen in the reactions of the fan before a big encounter, India versus Australia.
We are expecting this match. It is a very critical match for India, and we hope that India will win this match.
This time we will defeat them, and Virat Kohli will make another century. That is what we want.
We want India to win because India is one of the biggest teams in the world, and Australia is a very hard opponent for India. I want Virat Kohli to hit a century.
All right, senior sports journalist Rakesh Rao is with us, and we'll have correspondents also with us. We'll have Narayan Singh, senior sports correspondent with us, and we'll also go to Siddharth Bharwaj. But Rakesh ji, I want to come to you first. A big match today, India versus Australia, and what else you can ask for in the semi-final of an ICC event as big as Champions Trophy? On paper, who do you think are favourites?
Well, if you look at the pros and cons, if you make a SWOT analysis, I would put India slightly ahead, for the simple reason that India has been playing here. This is their 4th game. Australia has travelled all the way, and see, for them to come in and settle in, it's not easy. Number 2, India is almost at its full strength, whereas if you look at the Aussie team, they look fairly good when you see them, like bat, because they've proved it. They can chase down anything. They chased down 350 in the only completed game that they've had so far. Whereas India has chased down twice. They've been out of their comfort zone against New Zealand, but it was good for them, so that they could actually see that what happens when they defend a total, and a small one at that. So India is in its comfort zone, whereas whereas Australia is concerned, my only worry is that India should set a target which should be in excess of 300, and then just unleash your 4 spinners, and how you bowl from maybe the 9th over till the 40th over, that will decide the course of the game. But if India has to bat first, if India has to chase it down, just ensure that you don't concede too many big hits. That should be enough, because when it comes to Australian bowling versus our lineup, where you have even up to under 8 we bat, up to number 8. So we we really bat deep. So given that context, I think we can chase down even up to 300, 325 against this attack, because their attack is not intimidating, unlike any of the Aussie attack which we have seen in a long time. That's why I maintain that if there was ever a good time to beat the Aussies, this is the day, and that is today.
Marred with injuries, they don't have Pat Cummins, they don't have Mitchell Stark, they don't have Josh Hazelwood, and bowling wise, they are certainly weak. They look weaker on paper than India. I'll go across to Narayan now. Narayan, talking about India's playing 11, do you see any changes today, or the same team that played against New Zealand will play today also?
Abhishek, a lot will depend on, as Rohit Sharma is in a press conference said that he even don't know which strip he'll use, if depending upon that what kind of pitch they are using, accordingly they will select the playing 11. If it will be like the India versus New Zealand match, definitely Varun Chakravarti will be there. They will go with the 4 spinners, and when he was asked about the inclusion of the Varun Chakravarti in this knockout match, he didn't said anything about that, but he praised Varun Chakravarti and said that he is one of a bowler who can just dismantle their opponents, and said that whenever he will be in form, definitely he will take 4 and 5 wickets, and he also said about Varun Chakravarti that even the Indian batsmen were not able to pick him during the next session. So it all will depend on how the pitch will be and which strip will be used, and according to the reports that were coming from Dubai, most likely a fresh pitch will be used, and it will be like the India and Pakistan match, which was quite better than that of the pitch used during the India versus New Zealand match. If you take a look, that pitch, it was quite slower, sluggish, and as the day progressed, as the match progressed, it was difficult to bat on that pitch because there was no dew, and we know that if there is no dew, definitely the team batting second gets difficulty. So all in all, we can say that a lot will depend on what kind of pitch will be used here in this match.
Right, people have been talking about the venue, how India, they have got the advantage because they have been playing all their matches in Dubai. Rakesh ji, they have been talking about the pitches, but people who do not know, Indians have played all their league matches in different pitches, yes, the same venue. But I want to talk about the playing 11. The way Varun Chakravarti performed in the last game against New Zealand, he's undroppable. I mean, it's very difficult to drop him. And it's a happy headache for Rohit Sharma. What do you think will be the playing 11 today? They'll again go with 4 spinners?
Of course. I mean, where is the question of even, thinking about dropping your man of the match?
Right.
48 hours ago, he pulled it off for you when Indians really needed wickets, and he took 5 of them.
Yeah.
Now, if you are looking at the playing 11, India has no reason to even contemplate a change. Because let's unleash these 4 spinners, because we are the only team which has the luxury of having 5 spinners in your squad, out of which 4 are happily making it into the playing 11. Now, you don't see this happening in white ball cricket, because I mean, if India can actually do this, it's only because they have the luxury of 2 of them being top class all-rounders. They contribute with the bat. They come, one of them happens to be coming at number 5. Just imagine. So Indians have that luxury, and just test these guys with 40 overs of spin. Why not? But then at the same time, having said all this, we must not forget that the Aussie middle order in particular has faced the Indian spinners on subcontinental wickets. They have played with white ball here, and they will be comfortable. But for them to come out and score on a square which is considered to be slower, where the ball is coming slowly off the wicket, and these 4 spinners are not going to give you pace. So the best part is we don't have any bowler who by chance can also give them pace. Shami is smart enough not to overreach, and he's not going to give you that pace to hit hard. He is also coming back from surgery. He is being slowly off the blocks, but he is a disciplined bowler. Yes, he's an attacking option, but then he knows that on this wicket, because he's played enough here to understand that even if he doesn't get wickets, he should not allow pace. And the only way India can deal with this Aussie side is don't let too many big hits. That means control the 4s and the 6s. That is how you play on these wickets. You don't have to attack needlessly. If there is nothing to be done, just keep a guy. If he's struggling against spin, you somehow, because it's a 50-over game, you can afford to keep him there. If he gets out in frustration, so be it. But if runs are not flowing from one end, you don't have to get him out, because this is very simple. The batters will be frustrated, and if a certain top order guy is struggling, he's sending a certain message to the to the dressing room that things are tough here. Let that pressure stay there. Don't just remove it. Let that pressure build by itself, because you have to use every single trick in the book to make sure that you break the Aussies between the ears. So that is what Indians have it. Indians have the resources. We are not even talking about Bumrah. Yeah. So that shows that Indians have the options. You have the resources to win on this kind of a wicket. So let's hope for the best.
I request the producer to play the likely playing 11 also, but meanwhile we'll go across to Siddharth Bhardwaj also, who is joining us live from Delhi. Siddharth, we need to talk about the Australian side also. I mean, the way they played against England, they chased down more than 300. They won by 5 wickets. Their bowling has not been tested. I mean, against Afghanistan also, they were going great guns. But yes, Australians know how to win big games, and this is a big game against India.
Oh yeah, definitely, Abhishek. And you said it right. Today is the day when every test, every experiment will take place. And the biggest advantage which Team India has is the condition. Everyone has been talking about it. If even if you talk about Varun Chakrabarti, the Australian squad, the Australian side must be having his videos by now, access to his videos. But then what matters is actually the area in which you are. I mean, you have played all your matches in Dubai. You are completely acclimatized to the conditions. Rohit Sharma and companies know exactly how the pitch will behave. But although he has said in the press conference that this is not our home, and we are playing we play very less matches in Dubai, but still keeping everything into consideration, the India has a slightly bigger edge when it comes to this particular competition. Although it is going to be a neck and neck fight, but then yes, we have that's like I always say, Abhishek, you spin it and you win it, and today is the day, and it is do and die encounter for India, because if they are out today, then they are out from the Champions Trophy. And so today is the day they have to unleash their full potential when it comes to spinners as well. And also, there's the biggest problem when it comes to Team India, Abhishek, is that when they lose their top order, it becomes really difficult for the middle order to actually anchor the innings. So the top order has to be really stable today, and like our honorable guest said, I liked it really much that they don't have to hit unnecessary fours and sixes. They have to frustrate the Australian bowlers, and that has to be the key, because they are actually relying on Adam Zampa today, or perhaps Glenn Maxwell, which is not enough. And we have some good spinners. All of them are in form. You have Varun Chakrabarti, who took fiver in the last match. You also have you have Kuldeep Yadav. So yeah, we have some good bowling lineup as well, and we have some of the best batters in the world. So yeah, on paper as well, Abhishek, our squad looks really, really nice. And today is the day, like I said, they have to go on and hit it out some big numbers if they're batting first. And if they're chasing, they have to frustrate the Australia bowlers and don't have to hit unnecessary, fours and sixes and out of the park ball.
Right.
And that is the key. When they'll come out with flying colors from this particular encounter. And yeah, definitely everyone is very, very excited for today's clash. It's also about taking revenge from the Australian side.
Right,
What they did
Siddharth, we
in the
all
past.
have been talking about that revenge game, and in fact, this is the first game that India is playing against Australia after that 2023 World Cup finals. So after almost 16 months, they'll be clashing again in this format of the game. Narayan, 250, 260, you think will be the par score here, and team winning the toss, they'll look to bat first?
Definitely, we take a look at this pitch. 250 and 260 is a defendable target here if a team batting first. And we also should know that India, if plays 4 spinners in this this slow track, definitely it is about the 40 quality overs of the Indian spinners between the 10 quality overs of the Adam Zampa. So there is a huge gulf between the two sides in terms of the quality also. Even if the Australian brings Tanveer Sangha in this squad, definitely they have to just pull back one of their pacers. So definitely this side, as you mentioned, that after the 2023 World Cup, this Indian side is a quite different Indian side, and this Australian side is also a quite different side. So Indian side after that has evolved a lot. In the past, we saw that the way what actually happened with the Indian team in the 2023 World Cup. Actually, we saw that there was no left-hander in the top 5 or top 6. Now we are using Akshar Patel as a floater. Even if you take a look at his batting, it never looked like that he's a floater. He is batting like a pure batsman here. So this is the luxury, and the batting depth is too high for the Indian. So we are hoping that definitely it's going to be a match that will be dominated by the India. Even if we know that in knockout matches, Australia is a specialist team, and talking about the knockout rounds after 2011 World Cup, we saw that they won the 2023 World Cup final and the 2015 semi-final also. So in knockout stages, Australia is a altogether different team.
Looking at the wicket, Narayan, this is bone dry and there is no grass at all. Australia, they must be, they can also go in with 3 spinners. Tanveer Sangha is the 3rd spinner in the squad. So Adam Zampa, Tanveer Sangha and Glenn Maxwell also bowl off spinners. But Rakesh ji, very quickly, what's your hunch? I mean, what's your gut feeling? You're going in with India or Australia?
India, 100%. It's 100 and 0. I don't even say it's 50-50 or 67, 60-40. Only one team wins, that's why it's 100. So it's, for me, it's 100 and 0. The only point that I'm going to say is that don't let the Aussie batters go off the lid. If they go off the handle, then you have some work to do. So if you get to bat first, now let's hope that Rohit wins the toss for a change. I think he has lost 14 tosses on the trot, but he's been winning the games. So I'm not complaining. Nobody is complaining as far as you are an Indian. But if you get a choice that if you win the toss, now Indians would love to chase. Now that means, because Indians always feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And looking at the temperatures there, about 37-38 degrees, that means you can expect dew. But we have seen in the past week that even though the temperatures are hovering around 37-38, there is not substantial dew, because India, it matters if India is bowling second, and if there is dew, then India is facing trouble there. So if you are put into bat, put the runs on the board. For me, the par score is nothing less than 300 here. No, both teams will go for 300, because if it's under 300, you are likely to lose, for the simple reason both the teams have superb list of batters there. They are both stroke makers. They can sit there, grind their innings. They can take their time and bat you out of the game. So both teams are aware of the strength of the rival. Having said that, I think it's our bowlers who hold the key, because if you compare Indian strength when it comes to being there with the bat, they are facing a weaker bowling attack. When you look at the Aussies, which are equally good when it comes to scoring runs, but they are up against a very different attack. Normally you don't get to see 4 spinners, and you know that India is going to come very hard at you, because of the variety. Indians
sorry to
hold the
cut you
edge,
short,
clearly.
Rakesh ji. We are running short of time. Toss will happen in 2 minutes time, and we'll keep you updated on that. Thank you for your insights, Rakesh ji, Siddharth and Narayan. Thank you for your inputs. So that's all we have in this edition of Clash of Titans. Stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.